parading on Facebook uh, at the Nathan E. Gibson High School there in Kuwor, where a computer teacher, really took advantage of a 17 years old girl, and that led to her death. So let me welcome my colleague. Well, I want to say welcome to another pleasant and fascinating edition of the Eco Talk Show.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Let me say good evening to everyone. It's good to be here today with another fascinating topic on a discussion. I think it is important that we Liberians, it is important that especially the media, the role of the media, it is important that we bring out some of the happenings that occur within the society, especially those human interest stories. So it's good to be here, and I hope the show going to be fascinating, and we encourage those who are listening to also listen and share their view with us after we try to open the phone lines.
Yeah, so we can talk about the town hall engagement yesterday, the launch of the town hall engagement by the Ministry of Information of Cultural Affairs and Tourism. You went at the program, you saw the launch. What is your take? Do you think that this engagement is necessary? Because if you listen to the minister, they want to hear from the citizens themselves, going to places, propagating government messages there to these ordinary people, especially those in the hinterland. You attended the program. What is your take on that?
Well, thank you. I attended the program, right? But I think the idea from the government is not is a program that we need to refocus. Yeah, it is a program that yes, the government wants the people to talk to the government, but I think there are different channels. That is the reason why you have the Liberia broadcasting system. You have correspondents in the various counties. That's the reason why they should be able to focus on those human interest stories instead of reporting on the little small or the small project that government does within the community or within the area, right? Why will the Ministry of Information launch a town hall when you already have the Ministry of Information press briefing where these very stakeholders, government officials come in to explain, to tell the public what exactly they are doing. And that's why you also have the media. You listen to the media, you listen to people calling on the radio, the citizens are calling, right?
Yeah.
That is the reason why those who are in different sectors, who are serving in key government position, they should take a tour. The town hall is not, for me, it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary. These people should take a tour in the various counties, in the rural areas, and understand the problems the people are facing. Instead of a town hall where people go and will you answer all of the questions? Will you address all of the questions?
Yeah, because yesterday we wanted to ask some of these hard questions, and we were not like given an opportunity, to really ask questions, because according to the minister, this is an initiative, for the ordinary people, bringing government officials, talking about what the plans of their ministries, the things that involve in agencies, directors of agencies, going to the people. Because bear in mind, even at NICA today, the next edition will be hosted in Nima County. And Nima is very big. Nima is very big. So will you just sit in Ganta
and
just call a few people, you say that town hall, that town hall engagement you have in?
So that's why I said the Ministry of Information already, they are running a newspaper, which is wrong.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Information has the Liberian News Agency.
Yeah, Lina.
Why there should be Liberian News Agency, a newspaper, etc., and you're breaking a town hall? You are depriving the media from accessing basic information, from doing their research, right? The Ministry of Information should be there regulating certain programs, certain media programs, right?
Sure.
But when you come, you open town hall, right? They are, like yesterday they said the town hall will also have opposition asking questions. Did we see opposition in that hall?
But
right?
Yeah, the issue
there was no opposition. And here is it. All of those who attended the program, they were traditional leaders.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
How many of these traditional people talk to their people?
And again, and again, well, we at the program we didn't see opposition folks. We didn't see civil society. The only people who saw that yesterday was the student. Which was just one sector of them, which is the student from the whatever
Student, yeah.
Yeah. So you have other government, government-run institutions, public schools. We didn't see them, right? So who are those representing the market women, the Yana boys? We didn't see these people there yesterday. We just sat down, and the hall was so flooded with social tradition people.
Yeah, traditional people, and they said they were carrying the government to the people.
Yeah.
Who are the people?
So
for the people.
Yeah, for me, right, it's a good initiative. But the manner and form in which the government is proceeding, for me, I think they are in error. Because if you want to run a town hall, what should be here is, right? You should have mixed breed of people. The mixed breed of people, you should have from the opposition. So if the Minister of Finance is presenting, the LRA is presenting, the Minister of Commerce is presenting, those were people who sat before you. So they will actually have questions.
Yeah.
So you cannot.
You can bring government or moderator.
You cannot bring government moderator.
Yeah. And
you bring government panelists. Then you say you're having town hall engagement. Then again, for people to ask questions, then you become so selective.
Yeah. So I think the Ministry of Information needs to rethink their decision. It is not still late.
Yeah,
it's not still late.
Yeah, actually it's not still late.
If these people want to meet, if you want the people to interact with the common people, the people who gave them the power, right? They need to take tour in the various counties.
Sure, for sure.
How long would this go? They are saying up to 2029.
Yeah, 2029.
Right.
So it's a very, 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 very long.
How
period.
often? What's the resources? How much do you need to continue this program? And how often would this program be presented?
Yeah. So again, that which
you see, already we are talking about finding money to develop our country. We are talking about there is no money in country, this and that, and we're still bringing other programs that are not even needed. Waste of money, waste of resources, right? If you're taking the program if you're carrying it to Nimba, do you know how much you're going to spend there? What will happen if the minister or the director himself go to Nimba on his own to the radio station and start to explain? People will call in. People will phone in. And even you can have a town hall discussion with the people there. So instead of you saying you're having extra town hall program at the Ministry of Information, I think it is not needed. You already have the Liberian News Agency, and you're running a newspaper where you're promoting government programs. Right?
Sure.
So the state broadcaster, that is ERBC, right? They have correspondents in all of the various counties.
For sure.
You should be able to train the correspondents as it relates to human interest story, what the people need. When the reporter or the correspondent reporting these human interest story, probably those who are in high authority, those who are in the requisite position to solve this problem, they can also come in. But instead of having a town hall meeting, I think they want to, we're talking about wasteful spending. That's wasteful spending to have another town hall at the Ministry of Information, Culture, Affairs and Tourism.
Okay, that was the voice of wasteful spending there. Let's look at the the visit of the president of Barbados. Uh, from where we were told yesterday by the foreign minister, Sarah Beslo Yanti, that the president of Barbados will be within the country, and she will be for 3 days. Do you think, as a country, looking at Barbados, what are those relevant? What do the people or the country stands to benefit?
Well, thank you. Liberia have signed so many diplomatic relationships with different countries.
Sure.
And I think the Barbados is of no exception.
Sure.
So the visit of the president from Barbados is welcoming, right? It depends. It depends the kind of discussions that the government of Liberia going to have with the government of Barbados, right? Because if you want to establish a friendship, there should be several agreements.
Mm-hmm.
There should be several discussions on how you want to become friends,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You see let's take for instance, you see a beautiful girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden you just start to admire her. You want to be friends with her.
Yeah.
But what the type of friendship you want?
Mm-hmm.
So the president of Barbados coming here for 3 days, I think it is welcoming. Hope the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the executive, right?
Mm-hmm.
The president of the Republic of Liberia will also look beyond,
Mm-hmm.
to ask themselves, this friendship we want to establish with this country, what's the benefit we're going to have? What's the impact that going to come to probably Liberia or perhaps the Barbados?
Yeah.
What will the Barbados be benefiting? And what we ourselves going to be benefiting? Is it a friendship where we will come and say hello, or we come and say happy Independence Day, we share independence a letter to each other? Is that the kind of friendship we want? We want a friendship where
a young guy who would just wake up in the morning, go on a hustle, comes back and see electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, lay fair on and lay down is enough for him. We can now boast of little. Want to say kudos to the acting managing director of LEC. He's doing well. We should give the flower to the man while he's alive.
Sure.
He's doing well. So you've been, observing things. You've been seeing things around. What is your take on, the recent LEC acting LEC managing director on his improvement when it comes to electricity?
Well, thank you, Joseph. That's so incredible of him, especially he's acting as the Director General of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Well, the issue of electricity has been a very, 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 very difficult problem within our country.
Mm-hmm.
Like people will say, water is life.
Sure.
Likewise, chlorine is life. Light is life.
Mm-hmm.
Power theft is one of the dangerous effect to the stability of electricity in our country.
Sure.
And in any nation. Power theft, you should be very careful, very mindful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Liberia should not also be depending on another country to get electricity. We have several rivers here that can produce chlorine for us. We have several rivers, right, that can give us electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Sesta River.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the river in River G.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we make use of it? Go to the Kavala River in Maryland and St. Paul. You start to build a dam over this river. And you start to electrify, because tomorrow these countries that we depending on, right, they will want to take their chlorine, right? Like what happened? Africans have to reduce the waste we were using.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So when the people are not satisfied, and when you are not paying the correct revenue to them, they will take it.
Sure.
But when you start to build your own dam over this river, you start to sell current out, people start to depend on you for electricity. They also boost the country's economy. So I think the director is doing his best. Hope all of the beautiful, nice statements he made on the media. Hope this will not be a political rhetoric. Hope this will not be a political tactics to beautify the arrest agenda. Hmm? It should not be. It should be something that when the next government comes, they will also enjoy and they will also tap on to improve the electricity in our country.
Sure. Well, that's it. We just want to commend him. He's been doing well over the past month since his appointment as acting managing director of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. And Liberian woke up one morning and saw a press release that the chairman of the stand, so a civil society, a grouping that was formed by the former party chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, Malu. And Malu left the CDC. He's now backing into activism. He has formed his own initiative to put pressure on government. Malu have planned protest on the 17th of July, right? Yeah, the 17th of July. There are a lot of people who feel that they cannot take Malu serious. There are a lot of people because there are so many things. One, during the 12 years of Manasali, this man activism was only the issue of the war crime code. This man had a self-protest. He slept at the U.S. embassy. 2017, the government won. What was his conversation with former President Weah? The same thing that he was complaining about, saying that the issue of war crime code, people should be held accountable. You were given an opportunity
To lead.
And you led. What was your conversation with the former president? Desi Malu had a recording, parading all in this place. How when the president go outside and get contract and take the money off for his head. Desi Malu accused the president, the former president, George Weah, of having relationship with all the female ministers and deputy ministers. Desi Malu. And is this Malu coming up, calling on Liberians to protest against this government because they feel, this grouping feels that the president is not proceeding well. What is your point here?
Well, I learned that STEM is a non-profit activist institution.
Brother,
a civil society organization.
For me, I guess it's non-profit.
So
STEM is an Agnes 2 for CDC.
Okay, so like I was saying, STEM called himself a civil society organization. I think Chairman Malu has been in Liberia. He has witnessed how civil society organization operates in Liberia. And I think if he could do himself justice, right? He will follow the steps that gave civil society the ground to operate. He will learn from the experience of other civil society organizations, right? You cannot say you are a civil society organization and just within 1 year or 2 years that you establish this organization, you're talking about protests. right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, the Liberian populace will start to ask, but this is the same Malu was in CDC 6 years.
Sure, the same Malu.
This is the same Malu in 6 years was here and there. They couldn't do what they should have done. This is the same Malu who served as chair to ensure that the CDC obtain power in this country. And they will start to tell themselves, right? He's not the rightful messenger.
But Malu cannot be the rightful messenger. Malu cannot be.
This is the same Malu, right? Who was using public resources to rent guest house here.
Yeah, sure.
He was staying in hotels.
Sure.
He was not living in his own residence. This is the same Malu who around here 6 years you could see gold, diamond watch, Gucci, everything on him.
The same Malu.
He did not talk about the people interests.
But the biggest question here is Malu trying to tell us that when President Weah was in office, the lives of the ordinary Liberian was better back then?
I'm hoping we can have a one-on-one conversation with him so that he can answer all of these questions.
Let Malu be bold, because we know we know the character within Malu.
Okay.
Malu is a man afraid to apologize, right? After Malu came up and accused the former president here, he accused the former president that when the president goes out and lobby on behalf of the country, when the president comes back, any money that the president received, the president can say that's your personal money. It's the same Malu that accused the former president of having relationship with all his female ministers, deputy ministers, assistant ministers, and directors. It's the same Malu. If Malu want to be transparent, let Malu come back and tell us, let Malu tell the Liberian people some of the mistakes that President Weah made. But you cannot come here, in an activism form, and you think that the people are forgetting. No, we have not forgotten.
We have just gone 1 year, probably 5 months in President Boyka administration, and you just left the government of recent.
They see Malu. Manaseri says here, this female protest. He almost had bald head. He was sleeping at the U.S. embassy. He went on hunger strike. They see Malu.
He did all these things at the time. The CDC that he chaired, but then he did it because by then CDC was not empowered. They didn't have the necessary resources to amuse themselves with these. They were not. They believed they were not part of the elite, but they used power to be part of the elite.
Well,
It's so frustrating that those who strangulated the Liberian people yesterday, those who exploit from the Liberian people
want
yesterday,
to come and
right?
become a freedom fighter.
I want to say this to every young person: the next leadership, right, is into the young people's hands. And if the young people of this country will still want to believe in the recycled politicians, if they can't think out of the box, they still want to maintain these very same people that continue to mess in the system, that don't want to see this system improved, right? If they can think, we will continue to ride on the same path. We will continue to complain on leaders, because we, the young people, our votes, they are in number than the oldies, right? The old people don't want us lead. Let me tell any young person, they just want to be there, be getting money and enriching their family. So as a young man, if you cannot think out of the box, you want to join somebody who yesterday was wearing gold chain, gold watches, Gucci, gold coat suit, right? If you can't think out of the box, you still want to join him, that's fine. If we want to young people still want to be built around politicians. Likewise, right? Our leaders, they're not creating the avenues for young people to be empowered.
Sure.
How many young people you can see in government? Yesterday, I heard President Boyka telling a cabinet minister that they should empower young people. Mr. President, it is the most dying of the young people.
But for me, I think that the statement from
In the Ministry of Cabinet, look at the cabinet. How many young person in the cabinet? And the president is there telling them to employ not young person.
And again, for me, I feel that the president is not genuine in his statement. Are you coming up to say that your government should provide job for young people? Right? This is the same president who was campaigning from place to place here, everywhere he go, to a point where he was saying that nobody will sell on the street, no child will sell on the street.
Even he was against so many serene on vehicles.
He was against it. The same president that told us that he can ride river out to go to work. The same president.
So
we just feel like there are a lot of people who are not sincere in their advocacy.
Yeah, and I think Bolu is one of those who is not sincere. He just need to sit somewhere, right?
Bolu just need to go sit somewhere and just hide himself.
Yeah, enjoy all of the money he got from the CDC government.
The stolen wealth that he enjoyed from the past government. That Molu just go sit down. But nobody will take Molu serious in this country. A Molu cannot be serious. Nobody will come up. So folks, if you're just joining us, this is your premier talk show, the Eagle Talk Show. You can now put in your call on 0770-77572 or 0888-66-9430. Put in your calls on 0770-77572 or 0888-68-9430. Put in your calls and make your contribution. And lastly,
just before you go ahead, the Catholic Church has just elected a new Pope. Pope Robert Prevost is the new Pope of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis passed off, and he was buried. So today, cardinal members of the Catholic Church in the Vatican, they gathered and at the St. Peter, and then they elected a new Pope. So it has just been announced that the new Pope was elected.
Okay, I want to say shout out there to the Vatican, the Catholic Church. It's we even though we're still mourning the Pope, but they have elected a new Pope. So I want to say a very, very, very real kudos to them there for them exercising their own right. Because for us, we don't know how to do. For me, I just felt it was just a selection. But when I saw the listing on those that were contesting, it was too long. So if you can put in your calls on 0770-777-572, 0888-66-9430 and make your contribution. And lastly, the past 3 days, before going on this issue, the issue of fire incident in this country is trying to be, it's not trying to be, but it's very alarming. Today, we woke up early this morning and we saw another fire outbreak right in Matali, around the Don Bosco. And from what we were told today at the press conference at the Ministry of Information, where the fire service chief attended, 4 young kids lost their life. Imagine, who knows? Some of these kids who have been the next minister, even the next president, the next bank governor, the next journalist, no one knows. But those kids lost their life just because we, as a country, we are still fighting on this issue of fire incident. As old as we are, as a nation, we're still fighting. We're still trying to, sometimes, I wonder, we don't know our priorities. Why will people continue to lose their life? While other countries, as soon as they fire, the fire trucks are already there. You cannot stand on the national platform. You said that they called you in less than 11 minutes. You were there, but you couldn't rescue those kids. You know, okay, somebody just put the phone on.
Okay.
You arrived in less than 11 minutes, but still you couldn't rescue, these kids. It's so saddening to see young kids that lost their life just because government failed to come to their aid. What you went there for? You went there, the fire was still on, but you couldn't rescue them. You couldn't rescue them. If I was the president by now, that fire burned long time, you're not in that position. You cannot come on national platform and say you went there. They call you. You went there 11 minutes. You saw the fire on. You saw the fire on. You went there 11 minutes. You saw the fire on, but you couldn't rescue them. It's so saddening.
Yeah. So that's a
okay. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Yeah, your name and where you joining us from? Okay, make your point quickly. Make your point quickly. Sure. A country of two speakers. I love that. Okay, brother. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, Will, you are saying something.
Yeah, so that's a pathetic situation. And I want to extend my condolence to the bereaved family. I think it is not your fault, right? The issue of death, when it comes,
Sure.
and when it is coming, you can't stop it.
Sure, for sure.
You can. But when these kind of disasters, right, continue to happen repeatedly, and there is no solution, then it becomes alarming, and it becomes embarrassing. Why is it this particular fire disaster is always happening?
Sure.
And fire disaster will happen 5 or 10 times in a month before the month goes to an end.
Yeah.
But yet and still there is no solution. The fire service complained about logistics, right?
But we saw them parading the street with trucks all in the
They
street.
paraded with
fire trucks.
these equipment.
Yeah.
Yes. But here is it. Do we have the real guys to move these equipment?
And to the point, he went at Mecca today and asking the strength,
The manpower.
and he was bold to say that they have 721.
See, a country that is around 5.5 million people.
They get 700
officers at the fire
The
service.
721, including staff, not only firefighters, including staff. Even himself in the 721.
So,
Imagine.
Sally, you see,
Yeah.
we need to spend money in certain sectors.
Sure.
Our leaders need to start thinking about, or they need to think out of the box with their fat salaries, fat benefits. It is not happening. Right now, since we talk about USAID cutting their aid, right? Have you heard any lawmaker, any leader saying they cut their benefit, they cut their salary? Have you listened? No.
No.
They have not. the fire service, when you go in all of the counties, right? Maybe we found Grand Bassa, Nimba, that have fire service, maybe small equipment, but the rest,
It's not there.
you cannot find 2 fire service officers in a county right now.
Sure.
It is because we don't want to spend money in the recruitment process. We don't want to put more money in the fire service area so that people can go there and get experience to serve their country. We don't want to spend money within the Liberia National Police sector, right? That's why you see most of the police officers, they are right here in Monserrado, go in the counties. There are not too many officers in the counties, right? Go and look at the AF here.
Sure.
You have 1,500. I don't know whether it has increased to 2,000 plus now. But under the WIA administration, they were around 1,500.
Our country of 5 million plus.
5 million plus.
So imagine when the citizens themselves gets angry. Imagine that.
So the citizens should not be their own security. You should have security. Yeah, they should be their own security. But in terms of safeguarding the country, in terms of protecting properties, you need to have people who are equipped, people who are well experienced.
So we have roughly about 30 minutes. Quickly before we go, there's an incident that happened at the GW Gibson, not GW, some Nathan E. Gibson school at the between Duplo and Watchtower. Up to now, we have not heard a statement, or we have not seen a statement from the Ministry of Gender, from the Ministry of Justice, or the Liberia National Police. A little girl lost her life, 17 years old, just because someone, a teacher, who should have been her father or her big brother, took advantage of her, raped her, caused a lot of wounds. I went to the parents. I did an investigation, an interview. I did an interview, and the mother narrated. It was so sorrowful. Up to now, the school have not taken responsibility. The teacher in question is nowhere to be found. The Ministry of Gender has not issued an official statement. The parents, the family, they are in pain. What kind of country are we in?
The issue of rape is something that has been on the agenda of our country. And I think the gender ministry needs to do more awareness on how parents can prevent their children from these situations, right? If there is no awareness, if they are not giving the necessary message to the parents and even the children, they won't. Because these days, right, children want to be in life quick.
Sure.
I read a statement where somebody was saying the girl and the instructor, they've been having an affair.
But they agree that they've been having an affair.
So, and they were saying it's based on pregnancy, but when I listened to the mother, there was nothing of such. She did not talk about her daughter being pregnant and they removed the pregnancy. No. But the school also released a statement that they were not the one who employed the fellow. The fellow was employed by a company to provide services to the school.
Services.
But the school cannot distance themselves from the situation.
But again, right? I went at the school. The school failed to tell us the company that rendered the service that employed this guy. You say you can get anything to do inside.
So if you don't have any hand to fry in what is happening, why can you provide the name of the company that hired this guy to provide services to your school.
But again, well, this is Liberia for us, folks. We have gone.
So
with,
the Barbados president just arrived in country.
Okay, she just arrived in country. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. The next time you see us will be next Thursday, when we'll bring you another fascinating edition of the show, the Eco Talk Show. We've been here. My name is Joseph Sally. Will Werfer been here as my co-host until we see you. I want to say shalom.